Hi guys, welcome back to Writing with Miss Nighty. Today we are going to go back to opinion writing. So what you are going to need is a few pieces of paper, a pencil or a pen or something to write with, and your brain. We're going to be brainstorming. Now, this is the opinion writing that we've been working on. We are going to be using the Oreo method. So if you want to pause here and review, that's great. All right, boys and girls, today's objective is going to be that we will be able to use the pictures in a story to develop our opinions about a character. And we're going to share our opinion in a letter that we're going to write to a friend. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to just start brainstorming. So right here, I have this paper and it says, who is right, the Onceler or the Lorax? So I'm going to show you what I'm thinking by talking about the book, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. So I have my book right here. Now, if you've read The Lorax before, you know that the Onceler is taking down the truffula trees to make thneeds. And after he cuts down the very first truffula tree, the Lorax shows up. And the Lorax says that he speaks for the trees. And he's very upset that the Onceler is cutting down truffula trees. So I'm going to look at the pictures in this book, and I'm going to try and decide who's right here. Is the Onceler right because he should be able to cut down the truffula trees because he's trying to make money? Or is the Lorax right that we need to save the truffula trees? So if I look at the pictures right here, look, right here. You look right here, here's the Onceler, these are his arms, and he's getting money. So I am going to say, I'm going to get my marker, and underneath Onceler, I am going to write, he can make money, right? He can make money on the needs. So that's a reason why the Onceler should kind of get his way. Okay, let's see. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking at the pictures. On this right here, the Lorax looks pretty upset, but let's see what happens. Oh boy, the Onceler looks like he's cutting down a lot of trees here. There's little stumps from the trees. Okay, more trees being cut down. Oh, these little brown barbaloots. They look sad. And it looks like they're holding their bellies like they're hungry. So maybe I'm gonna put that on the Lorax's side because it looks like he's knocking on the Onceler's door and saying, hey, this is your fault. So I'm going to write that the brown, oopsies, I spelled it wrong. Brown, oh no, I was right. Baloots have no more food. And in parentheses, I'm going to write no truffula fruit. And keep going. Oh, it looks like they have to leave. I'm going to add that here. I'm going to go, they leave. They have nothing to eat. All right, let's see. All right, well, this picture shows me that the Onceler is selling a lot of thneeds. Look, he's got 1, 2, 3 trucks. He's got all these boxes. He's got this whole system to bring in the truffula trees. So his business is growing. Let's see, let's find one more. Looks like more animals are leaving. Oh, this picture does not look good. I think this is going to be a reason for the Lorax. Look, he's pointing. He's up here. Make sure you can see this. He's up here and he's pointing out into this lake or pond. These are the humming fish. And that doesn't look like clean water to me. That looks like yucky, brown, gunky water. So the humming fish, so the pond is yucky. The humming fish can't live there anymore. Okay, now I could keep going in this book and I could find a whole bunch of reasons why the Onceler's right or why the Lorax is right. So I'm going to look at the notes that I made here, and I feel that the Lorax is the right person. I think that he's making a lot of valid points. So what I'm going to do is now we're going to move on to creating a organizer that will help us organize our ideas so that next time when we write our letter, we're ready to go. So I'm going to put this right next to me, right here, so I can see it. Now, I want you to pause the video and on your piece of paper, make your paper look like my paper. We wanted to say, dear, and then leave a space, put today's date or the date, and then you're going to put opinion, reason, evidence, opinion. If you want to cheat, you can just put O-R-E-O. And at the bottom, we're going to have our from. So everybody pause and do that. Okay, now I am going to get a different marker. Where do my markers go? Now, we're going to review that we have a bunch of different sentence starters we can use to share our opinion. So we can say, I feel, I believe, I prefer. Oops, see, these ones are upside down. I would rather, my favorite, in my opinion, I think. Now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to use I believe. So right now, on my opinion, I'm going to write, I believe that the Lorax is right. The Onceler should not cut down trees. Didn't leave myself too much space there, but it's okay. I made it work. All right, now I have to give my reason. So I am going to look at my two examples that I have here, and they both have to do with animals that live in the truffle forest, leaving. So I'm going to look at my transition words. I have first, to start with, to begin with, second, next. Let's see, what else? Another reason, finally, lastly, most importantly, one last reason, I think, because. So I think that I'm going to go with most importantly. most importantly, the trees being cut down is making animals have to leave. Now remember, this is just our organizer, so if your sentence isn't a complete sentence or it doesn't really make sense yet, that's okay. We're gonna work on fixing that later. You just wanna get your ideas on your paper. Now, the evidence, if you notice here, I wrote it's from the pictures. So I'm gonna go back to that picture of the pond, and I'm gonna talk about that. So that was over here. So now I have to look at my providing examples. So for example, for instance, in particular, specifically, additionally, in other words, in fact, an example is. So I'm gonna go with for example, because that is like the easiest one to go with. It's the easiest sentence starter to use. So I'm gonna write for example. And then I'm gonna look right here and go in the picture, because that's, I'm gonna tell them where I got my evidence. In the picture, the factory made the pond yucky. I like the word yucky, I think it's funny. And gross. Or I'm not gonna say gross, I'm gonna say brown. I didn't leave enough space here. The humming fish can't live there. Okay, that's my evidence. I have the evidence right here. Like you see, the pond looks yucky and it's brown and the fish are leaving. That is my evidence. Now, the last thing I have to do is I have to restate my opinion. So if I go over here to my concluding statement, I can choose in conclusion, as you can see, ultimately, to sum it up, to summarize, and finally. So I'm gonna say, as you can see, as you can see, cutting down the truffula trees was bad and caused animals to leave. I really didn't leave myself enough space on this paper. Now, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna decide who I'm gonna write my letter to. So I'm gonna write Dear Dan. That's my husband's name. And I'm gonna write from Ms. Nighty. That's my name. And now I have my organizer set up. So next time, I'll be able to just go right in and write this out and make sure my ideas look great. Now, it's gonna be your turn to practice. So you need to have 2 pieces of paper and you are going to draw one that looks like this, who is right yellow crayon or orange crayon. And you're going to have your same chart as last time, but now you're gonna fill it in. I will help with sentence starters and stuff like that, but you're gonna give your reasons. Now, I'm gonna pull out this book. It's called The Day the Crayons Quit. Now, I love to read this book, but today we're only gonna focus on 2 parts of this book. So let me find the pages that I want. Should have put a sticky note. So we're gonna focus on the yellow crayon and the orange crayon. And they're fighting about who is the color of the sun. So you have to decide. You have to look at the pictures, that'll help you decide. And we're gonna read the story a little bit. So I'm gonna read you both letters from the crayons. And then you're gonna have to decide who should be the color of the sun. Is it the yellow crayon or the orange crayon? So let's talk about yellow crayon first. So yellow crayon's letter says, "Dear Duncan," yellow crayon here, "I need you to tell orange crayon that I am the color of the sun." I would tell him, but we are no longer speaking. And I can prove I'm the color of the sun too. Last Tuesday, you used me to color in the sun on your Happy Farm coloring book. In case you've forgotten, it's on page 7. You can't miss me. I'm shining down brilliantly on a field of yellow corn. Your pal and the true color of the sun, yellow crayon. Now, if I look at this picture, he does have the sun colored in yellow, and he has the pretty rays of the sun. So I'm going to go over to this page with my crayon or my marker. I don't have crayons over here, silly. What can I do? You don't have crayons. And I'm gonna write, that he, Duncan used yellow crayon on the Happy Farmer page. Oh, Happy Farm, not Happy Farmer. Happy Farm page for the sun. And I know that in the picture, there is a yellow sun with rays. Okay, now let's turn the page and see what orange crayon has to say for themselves. So this says, "Dear Duncan, I see yellow crayon already talked to you, the big whiner. Anyway, could you please tell Mr. Tattletale that he is not the color of the sun? I would, but we are no longer speaking. We both know I am clearly the color of the sun because on Thursday, you used me to color the sun on both the Monkey Island and the Meet the Zookeeper pages in your Day at the Zoo coloring book. Aren't you glad I'm here? Ha! Your pal and the real color of the sun, orange crayon." Now, if I look at the picture, there aren't rays on the sun, but he did use orange 2 times for the color of the sun instead of yellow. So that's what I'm gonna write. I'm gonna write Duncan used orange crayon on 2 coloring pages. And that's also shown in the picture. Write notes to myself. Okay, now this was a shorter story, so we only have maybe 1 example for each, and that is okay. So what you are going to do is you're gonna decide, is the yellow crayon right, or is the orange crayon right? Which one should be the color of the sun? And then you're gonna go over here, and you're gonna decide who are you gonna write this letter to, and then you're gonna start with your opinion. So I'm going to give you the sentence starters. In my opinion. And then you're going to tell me which crayon is the color of the sun. Then you're going to give me a reason. So you're going to say, let's look at our choices. Oopsie. I think we'll just go with, I think this because you're going to fill in why you think that. And then you're going to go, in the picture, I see, here, tell me what you see. What did we see in the picture? Oops, shouldn't put my period there. And then you're going to restate your opinion. So at the end, you're going to say, that's why I think blank is the color of the sun. Now, I walked you through this one a lot more than I'm going to do next time. This is kind of the first time that we're practicing. So, you can pause the video at this point so that you can copy over the sentence starters if you'd like. I'm also going to post them at the end of the video to make it a little bit easier for you to see them. So you can pause it just there. What I'd like you to do is after you finish this part right here, I'd like you to take a picture of it and send it to your teacher or send it to me, Miss Nighty, so that I can see that you did it and I can see what reasons you came up with. Maybe you took my reasons and changed them a little bit. It's up to you. And then next week we will work on, or in the next video, we will work on making this into a proper letter and making sure that our reasons make sense. And we might practice with a different story next time. So we might build on our skills by starting from scratch, doing this over again with a new story, and then adding on to it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun planning it, and I love the books that we used today. And I will see you guys soon. I will talk to you soon. Enjoy! Okay, so I didn't realize that some of my writing was cut off. So this is the teacher example if you want to just review what I did. And then you will see the brainstorm that we did for yellow crayon versus orange crayon. And at any point, pause the video so that you can look at it. And then lastly, what's going to be here is the graphic organizer with the sentence starters. So this is where you should pause, copy the graphic organizer and the sentence starters, and get to work. Enjoy!